yesterday in our big planning meeting that we had, we talked about feedback and how we like to give, receive, understand, write feedback. And we talked about communication preferences, like medium, tone, the whole nine. And one thing that I really liked that we highlighted was something that I kind of live my life by, which is diction, word choice matters. And it is the most important thing that anyone bottom up or top down can think about in their day-to-day operations. And it's the piece that I like so much about thinking formalized as writing, because when you formalize thinking, it becomes writing, and you have to pick certain words. And your certain words mean certain things to different audiences. And if you're not careful about that, it can cause an issue in a business relationship. It can cause a client to no longer want to work with you, even if you didn't say the wrong thing, just because you said it the wrong way. And so that's one thing that I thought was awesome that we kept as like priority numero uno. That is, we have to maintain that the word choice that we use is really important. And I think that like transfers to not only the world generally, because I live my life that way, but like business and communications, and informal and formal. So like the way that employees talk to each other, the way that people talk to each other, the words that they use, incredibly important. Words have so much weight. You can only choose one word and you have so many options. So that one word choice is a decision that is important. And there's a lot of factors that play into that one decision.
Mm-hmm. And the flip side of that is carelessness is also indicative, right? So if you don't know a person, therefore you don't know how your word choice will land, mm-hmm. you need to be more intentional about what you say, what words you choose, because gray area can go south on you real quick if you don't know how that's going to land. And when I talk to you, my dear friend and business partner, we're still talking about how diction matters. I've known you for years, mm-hmm. but it's still really important to continually align on that. But in talking to a stranger, a customer, a person you're interviewing to mm-hmm. work at your company, or a vendor that you might be using, it's a different set of intention. It's a different set of decisions, and carelessness in those realms is really representative of what's important to you in that moment. And if I'm listening to somebody talk and I sense that they're careful, they are choosing their diction wisely, or with like an endearing and kind undertone, I immediately know where their head's at. But if they're just like flippantly saying, contextual words that could or couldn't, I'm usually not offended, but they could or couldn't mean mm-hmm. something to somebody else. I also take that is a data point too.
Yep. And
should be considered. Yep. And I think more people need to think about that.
It tells you, it's indicative of the person's value system in what words that they choose. Mm-hmm. And whether or not they know that, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because you use certain words because that's your outlook, that's your perspective, that is how you view the world. It's mm-hmm. the reason that so many authors write the same story and it's different, because they use different words. Mm-hmm. The improper use of language is what creates those huge barriers. Mm. And it's what creates that mystification. And like, we'll go back to the bookkeeping thing. If you use a bunch of words that a business owner, as a bookkeeper, that you understand, but the business owner does not understand, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Like it's apparent. It doesn't matter if it's client facing or if the client's in the room and you're talking to your employee and you're using words that the employee doesn't understand. That all of that factors into the perception of you to the other people that are observing you. And so I think that component is almost as important as the humanity piece. Like, you have to, if you're gonna be a human, you have to understand that you have to use your words. You have to choose your words carefully.
I would argue that they're one and the same. To lead with your humanity is a prerequisite to empathetic communication, which is exactly what we're talking about. Yes. You cannot be aware of how that's going to land with the other person if you're not empathetically communicating, and you can't do that if you're not leading with your own humanity.